Hello everyone and welcome to the Tulare Public Library. My name is Brittany and I'm so happy to be with you again for another virtual edition of our Thursday Adult Craft. Today we'll be doing something really simple, very playful, and we'll be making our own ninja style stress relief balls using just balloons and flour. So whether you picked up a craft supply bag with us here at the library or whether you have these materials at home or are able to run down to the Dollar Tree and grab your own, I hope you all think it's as fun and playful and inexpensive of a craft as I did. So let's go ahead and review our materials and get started. All right, everyone, so let's review our supplies and then we'll go ahead and get started. Before I did that, I want to give credit where credit is due. I actually found this craft on an online blog called Frugal Fun for Boys and Girls, and I thought it was cute enough that I wanted to adapt it and do it as an adult craft. So go ahead and take a look at that site if you're looking for more great crafts like this. Let's review our materials. So the first thing I have is a fold over sandwich bag. You can also use a Ziploc bag with a zipper. Just make sure to cut the zipper part off. And inside of that, I have measured out between 3/4 to 1 cup of flour. The blog that I found this craft suggests closer to 3/4 cup, and I did between that and a cup, and it ended up working out well. Next, I have 2 balloons. These are 12-inch round or 30.5 centimeters. If you did grab a craft supply bag at the library, you should have 4 balloons, so enough to make 2 stress balls. But since I'm just gonna be walking you through one, I just have my 2 colors. Yellow is ideal for the little ninja face showing through, and then you can use any other color you want for the outside covering of the stress ball. Next, I have a ballpoint pen. It is really important that you use ballpoint pens instead of Sharpies, which definitely have the potential to smear. And since that is going to be to draw on our little face, we want to make sure that it sticks. Last but not least, I have 1 pair of scissors to cut our balloons to size. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sift my flour here. So I'm just going to shake it so that it all drops to the bottom of the bag. The main thing here is I want to make sure that there's no air, and I'm going to tie this plastic Ziploc bag off. So again, I'm just going to kind of shake till it all sifts to the bottom, and then I want to pinch as close to the top of flour as I can, just making sure again that there are no big air bubbles. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply tie this into a knot. So I'm going to loop it around and tuck my ends through. That can be a little tough to do, especially if you're not working with a lot of bag space. So feel free instead to tie it off with a twist tie or a rubber band. That works just as well. Okay, now for me, because I have all this extra plastic, I'm just gonna snip it off. So I have my sturdy knot right here, or however you've decided to tie it, and I'm going to snip the extra plastic off. Next, I am going to use my yellow balloon first to cover the sack of flour. I am going to cut the balloon, what would you call that? The balloon stem. I'm gonna cut it really close to the body of the balloon here. I don't wanna get it right on the edge because then the danger becomes it'll be much more likely to rip when you're stretching it to put over the flour. So what I'm gonna do is go about halfway between the end here and where the balloon starts, and then I'm just gonna scoot a little bit closer. So I want just a bit of almost like a turtleneck. That's a good way to think of it. Think of it like a turtleneck sweater. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just slip my fingers inside and kind of stretch it out. Sometimes when you cut balloons, the latex sticks. There we go. So you just kind of have to move things around until it's easier to grab. Then I'm going to stick my fingers inside and stretch the balloon out so that I can fit my sack of flour inside. So I'm going to put mine with the pointy tip into the bottom first, and then I'm just going to do my best to stretch the balloon around all of that flour. You kind of have to move with it a little bit It might not go smoothly the first time around, but eventually we are going to get everything covered there. Perfect. And now the reason I did it with my pointy end first is it just so happens that the little knotted plastic fits right in with our little open top here, so it makes it a little bit easier. All right, and then now I'm just gonna kind of mold it with my hands, make sure it's nice and settled down there. All right, and now I'm going to use my outer color and do the same thing. So again, I'm just going to cut, you know, a little more than halfway here, leaving a little bit of a turtleneck, just enough to slip it over. Now, the next thing that we have to cut on the outer color is the little gap that's going to serve as the ninja face mask hole. So the trick that I have found with this one is to keep your cuts really thin and narrow, and then you can expand or cut more away if needed. So what I mean by that is, so I'm going to lay my green balloon out flat, or get it as flat as I can anyways. Now what I'm going to do is use my scissors, use my scissors to make one little snip, maybe about an inch in, halfway up my balloon. So this is the top of my balloon, this is where the stem used to be, and right about in the middle, I'm just gonna do one snip. I hope you can see that well. All right, and then parallel to that, I'm gonna do one more tiny snip. Again, I want to leave a very thin, let's see if we can see that a little better. I wanna leave a very thin eye opening here, and I can always expand it if needed. So I'm just gonna do about a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch there. Now you'll see I have my cut, and I wanna cut that away cleanly. So now what I'm going to do is just cut this end off right here. All right, might have to cut more than once. Here we go. And then I'm going to pull this away. Oh, make sure it's cut all the way through first. All right, there we go. So now what you're looking for, or now as you can see, when my cut is complete, it just looks like a little notched eye hole there. I know that can be a little tough. Okay, perfect. So let's start with that and see if it's the right size. So what I'm going to do now, to make sure that this is covered up, I'm actually going to put my outer color over this balloon with this facing the top. So let me show you what I mean. So again, I'm going to just jostle my fingers around, make sure that I get this opening of this balloon hole. And I'll show you this way. So I'm gonna, where the stem used to be, I'm gonna open that up, and I'm going to start sliding over the other balloon. All right, so you'll start to notice that we do have our little ninja hole here. So that worked out perfectly. So I'm gonna keep mine this shape and size. Again, if you wanted a broader opening or wider, you could always cut while it's on the balloon here. But I think that's gonna work for my purposes. And then you'll notice that it's secured because the opening of this is just the first color that we have here. So if you wanted to snip this even a little bit further down so that it's not all of that empty balloon, then we can do that. We can tidy it up a little bit, or you can just leave it as is. All right, so there is our ninja stress ball. The last thing that we need to add is a face, and then we're done. I love that this was such a simple and playful craft. So let me show you how to draw the face here. So I'm gonna do 2 dots for the eyes. Again, remember, I'm using my ballpoint pen, which should come right onto the balloon surface, and it's good because it shouldn't smear. So I'm just gonna do my 2 eyes there. Okay, and then the last thing we need is ninja eyebrows. So once I have my eyes looking the way that I want, okay, there we go. The last thing I'm going to do is ninja eyebrows. So the only thing to keep in mind is that you don't want the eyebrows to be a straight line. You want them to start lower and rise higher. So the way that I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna start, and I hope you can all see this, I'm gonna start above the eye here and do a vertical line so they look like little angry eyebrows. All right, there's the first. And then I'm gonna do the second, start in the same place and rise. And then we have our ninja with eyebrows saying, I am not gonna take anyone's anything. So this is it. This is it. So I hope you all are able to get good use out of your Ninja Stress Ball. Even though they have tiny little angry faces, I do find them quite calming myself. So I hope you all do as well. So there we are, our tiny Ninja Stress Ball. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this playful and simple craft as much as I did. Stay tuned for our adult craft in September. In honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, my colleague Maria and I will be showing you how to make your very own pinch pots, and the craft program will be presented as a bilingual program in both Spanish and English. So we're really looking forward to that one. We will have craft supply bags available for that the second Thursday of September, and be sure to stay tuned for our recording, which will be posted on our YouTube page on the third Thursday of September, forgive me. I'm really looking forward to that one. I'm always doing these crafts alone, so having a buddy will be really, really fun. So thank you again, everyone, for joining me today. Have a great week, and we'll see you for next month's craft. Bye.